All right, so here we're going to explore methods a bit more, and specifically we're going to look at some of the common methods that are available for different data types in JavaScript. So we're going to start off by looking at some methods that are applicable to strings. So before we do this, we're going to need to actually have a string that we can work with. So I'm going to create a string. We'll call it text1, and we're going to assign to that, we'll do client side web GIS. Oh, what did I do? Oh, wrong type of assignment. Equals. Okay. Okay, so we have an object, so let's actually do some manipulation with it. So the first thing we're going to do is a split. So let's do something simpler first. Let's get the length. So text1 dot length. Text1 is not a function of anonymous. 1 through 7. How did that happen? Oh, that's right. It's not a function, so you don't have to call it with that. So text1.length equals 19. So that's the number of characters, including spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep. So it's the number of characters with the spaces defined. If you wanted to say convert the text to uppercase, converts it to uppercase. Let's do a split. So we'll do split. And then make sure I know how this works. So for split, convert string to an array. Okay, so what we're going to do in this case is we have to tell it what to split on. So we're going to have it split on a blank space. And we're going to write that out to an array. So we'll do var array1 is equal to text1 dot split. And then r1. And now we have an array with the 3 words split at the blank spots, right? So these are some examples of methods that are applied specifically to text. So now let's look at methods applied to a string. So I'm going to let's first clear the console, and we'll get rid of this. So now we want to create a text of numeric value, so we're to 7. Okay. If you want to convert this into a string, then you can do, I'm just going to save this var, we'll just call it x string is equal to x dot to string. And then if we do x string, it's 7, but 7 as a character or string as opposed to a number. Okay, let's create a longer number. So with decimal values. So we'll do y var y is equal to 3.4567, 3. Okay. So let's round this off. So to do that, we can use the toFixed method. So we're going to take a number, y dot toFixed, and then how many decimals do we want? So we're just going to say 3. And that spits the number back with 3 decimal places. Note that it's in quotes, so the toFixed method actually works on a number, but the output is a string. So what if we wanted to actually get a numeric output? So a couple ways you can do that, but this is one option. So we're going to wrap this inside of a number function. So now when it creates this, it spits out the same thing, but now it's defined as a number. So you're basically taking a number, rounding it off, converting it to a string, but then converting it back into a number. All right, so let's look at an array example. So let's clear the console again. And we're going to do array1. Let's do array. Var array is equal to, and then we need to define an array. I'm just going to use characters. Okay. So there's our array of characters. All right, so first, let's add something to it. So that's done with the push option. So if we do, method. So if we do r.push, then we can list what we want to add to it. So we'll just add f. So now if we do r, it has a new element in there. If you wanted to remove it, you could use the pop method. So we could do r.pop, and should just by default just pop off the last one. And then we are back to A through E. So let's look at one other. Let's look at splice. So r.splice. So we're going to add in a new element at a specified index. So we want to do, start and then items. So we're going to add, let's say position 3, we're going to add in G. Let's see if that works the way I thought. It did not. So that's clearly not how that works. So let's look at the examples for that. So let's look this up real quick. So we want to do, let's open another browser here, splice JavaScript array, yep. Okay, so method add remove items to from array. So index, so this is an index that specifies at what position to add remove items. Use negative values to specify the position from the end of the array. Okay. Optional. So this one's optional. So the number of items to be removed. If set to 0, no items are removed. The new items to add to the array. Okay, so let me see if I screwed that up. All right, so let me go back to my tab here. Let's try this again. So we'll do index 2. We don't want to remove anything, but we do want to add G in. There we go. So after position, at position 2, it adds G in, doesn't remove anything. Let's see what happens if we set this equal to 1. Okay, so what did that do? A, B, I guess it didn't remove anything. Oh, I think we'd have to specify what to remove. Anyway, that's basically the splice method. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to show you let's see, let's do concatenate. So we already have this one. So I'm going to make a new one by just copying it. So we're going to do var r2 is equal to r. So now we have 2 arrays. So now I'm going to concatenate them. I'm going to do r dot concat. Oh, it's lowercase. And then what do we want to add to it? We want to add to it the second array. So now we just combine those 2 arrays into one array. Okay, I think that's probably enough on methods. Let's do an example real quick with booleans, and then we'll leave it at that. Okay, so let's create something quickly. So we'll do x var x is equal to 2, and var y is equal to 2 as a character. So to test to see if those values are equal, we can use the double equals. So we'll do x is equal to y, and we get back true. Double equals is used to test for equivalency, because you can't use single equals because that's used for assignment. So these are the same value, but note that one was numeric and the other one is defined as a character. So in order to test both whether the values are equal and whether they're the same type, you have to use triple equals. So just add another equals in here, and now we get false. And that's because they are the same value, but one is a number and one is a string.